Mary had a little lamb.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me. Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
It's $5 Friday, you bastards.
Really briefly, can you speak to rumors that there is another Chinese balloon above Alaska or any other parts of U.S. territory that the U.S. shot down?
So I can confirm that the Department of Defense was tracking a high-altitude object over Alaska airspace in the last 24 hours.
Was it March?
The object was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet and posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight. Out of an abundance of caution and at the recommendation of the Pentagon, President Biden ordered the military to down the object. And they did. And it came inside our territorial waters. Those waters right now are frozen, but inside territorial airspace and over territorial waters. Fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command took down the object within the last hour.
So there was another object. This one was described as being much, much smaller. This one, they said, Mr. Kirby there at the podium said that it was about the size of a small car, not 2 or 3 buses full of payload. He said the payload on this one was much smaller. A fighter jet pilot confirmed that he believed from all their surveillance that it was an unmanned vehicle. And, of course, 40,000 feet, everybody who's ever flown, that the bell rings when you get to 10,000 feet, and then you cruise around 36,000 feet, right, somewhere around there. So 40,000 did present some sort of a problem with commercial aircraft or other aviation that goes on around that altitude. So they shot it down. Now, Kirby was saying that they were contacted sometime last night about this object. And so they waited till, I guess, the sun came up. I don't know. This is, I'm imagining that they had to wait till the sun came up to see exactly what they were dealing with, and then, dispatch a fighter pilot to, knock it out of the sky to actually take it down. Now, this was headed over the Arctic. It was over Alaska. That is where it was spotted. That is why Northern Command took it out. And so, we're just going to have to wait and see. And, of course, Marge, large Marge there, I don't know. This is crazy, okay? So they briefed Congress yesterday about the Chinese balloon. Now, we don't know if this object was even the property of a country, or if this was private property of somebody who surveils landmass, or it could be a million different things. And we don't know what it is. And we don't know if it's the property of a country. We don't know if it's, all we know is it wasn't military. It wasn't civilian from the United States that we recognized. Okay? So we don't know who owned this thing, and we don't know where it came from, and we don't know why it was there, and we don't know anything about it. Well, surprise, surprise, Marjorie Taylor Greene went on an obscenity-laced tirade yesterday during a classified briefing about the Chinese space spy balloon. And that, the confirmation that it was a spy balloon, I'm shocked, has actually been done. It's confirmed that it was a spy balloon, that we were jamming it, and that as it was trying to spy on us, we were spying on it, that we got a lot of valuable information from doing that with it, right? And so this is kind of, I guess, what the classified briefing was explaining to her, okay? And she went on a obscenity-laced tirade screaming at the briefers, "We don't trust you. We don't believe you. You're lying to me." I honestly, now the thing that she should be very upset about is that George Santos, this fraud, this lunatic, this man who, there's another story today about him and dogs. Okay, it's just, he's a sick, sad, pathological man. Okay, but the thing that should bother her is that when she looks around the room in a classified setting, that George Santos is there in that room with her. That should bother her. But instead, she unloaded on the briefers, telling them they're not trustworthy, telling them they were liars, telling them that, that she has no trust in any of the deep state. I mean, this is some sick stuff. This is some really creepy stuff. But, I don't know if the briefers were prepared for her. I have no idea if they told her, oh, okay, so expect some trouble from, Lady Jewish Space Laser over there. Okay, she's, a little unhinged, and she's probably going to lose her crap. When you tell her that we were able to jam the signal, they got nothing from us, we got stuff from them, meaning we were able to see and also, this was the 5th Chinese spy balloon that had been observed over the United States. Okay, so there were 3 of them during the Trump administration. 3 of them. And I guess that's what made her scream and yell that you're a liar, I don't trust you, get out of my face, whatever it was. Other people in the briefing said she was completely irrational, quote, just screaming and yelling. Irrational, in my estimation, said a lawmaker who didn't want to, because, screaming and yelling at briefers, that's going to get you the result that you're after. Of course it will. I mean, it's just so sick. But Gregory Meeks from New York said any question that was asked of them, they answered. I think it confirms some of what's already out in the public domain. At no time was American sovereignty, and everybody, everybody's upset about that. At no time was American sovereignty violated. America was always safe. But he confirmed that there was, quote, tension in the room because he said some members just don't want to believe what they were told. They don't want to believe the briefers. And they said, oh, I don't believe you. I don't trust you. Here's her description of it. She said, I had to wait in line the whole time. Ooh. I had to wait in line the whole time. I think I was the second to the last person, and I chewed them out just like the American people would have. I tore them to pieces. I said the president may be a Democrat, but he's still the president of the United States, and they made him look like a fool. They made him look weak the week before the State of the Union. And I've said that publicly, too, by not shooting it down. And I said there was nothing I heard in there today that gave me any confidence in what they did. You humiliated the president. She's so worried about the national security of the United States and the president of the United States being made to look weak a week ahead of the State of the Union. Meanwhile, she had no problem dressing like a freaking Chinese balloon and yelling at the president with her hands cupped over her mouth so her voice would travel to the microphone that could pick her up, calling the president of the United States during the State of the Union a liar multiple times and heckling him in front of the whole world. This is how concerned she is about how Biden looked to the rest of the world. Oh, please, bite me, honey. You are just so... Go run your CrossFit, gym. Go do that. That seems to be the thing you're good at. Leave the intelligence to the intelligent. I mean, it's just so unbelievable. And, she just wouldn't listen to what, the other House members chimed in. And they tried to get her to calm down. They tried to get her to, stop screaming, stop yelling. And she said, they were trying to give me more excuses. And I said, I don't want to hear more of your excuses. And the briefer said, look, this is a matter of opinion. And she said, no, it's not. Your excuses, that's all you're doing. And it's wrong. And I'm just telling you, this is how the American people see it. And it's a serious problem. No, honey, this is how people who patronize your CrossFit gym see it. This is not how Americans see it. Americans actually understand that jamming their signal and observing it was probably pretty freaking good. It was probably very smart.
Clear.
things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, The Randi Rhodes Show.
The newly created Republican-led House subcommittee created to investigate the alleged, quote, weaponization of the federal government held its first hearing yesterday.
Woo-hoo.
Republicans on the panel claim the government has been unfairly used to target conservatives, while Democrats argued the committee itself is kind of an example of improper use of the government. Chairman of the subcommittee, Republican Jim Jordan of Ohio, laid out his plans for the panel in his opening statement, while Delegate Stacey Plaskett of the U.S. Virgin Islands, who serves as the panel's top Democrat, expressed her concerns about what Republicans on the subcommittee are actually doing.
Americans have concerns about the double standard at the Department of Justice. Americans have concerns about the Disinformation Governance Board that the Department of Homeland Security tried to form. Over the course of our work in this committee, we expect to hear from government officials and experts like we have here today. We expect to hear from Americans who've been targeted by their government.
But there is a difference, my colleagues, between legitimate oversight and weaponization of Congress and our processes, particularly our committee work, as a political tool. I'm deeply concerned about the use of this select subcommittee as a place to settle scores, showcase conspiracy theories, and advance an extreme agenda that risk undermining Americans' faith in our democracy.
Members of that committee heard from two panels. The first included Republican Senators Chuck Grassley of Iowa, and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, and former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii. You'll remember she left the Democratic Party to become an independent. Each of them slammed the Justice Department, social media companies, and Democrats in Congress. For the sake of time, we have boiled this hearing down to its essence. Here's what it looked like.
Hunter Biden's laptop, Hunter Biden's business arrangements,
Hunter Biden laptop story,
the Hunter Biden laptop, Hunter Biden laptop.
Secretary Clinton regarding her use of a private email server for official business.
Her emails. These were the experts. Ron Johnson is the expert on the weaponization of what? Chuck Grassley, what is he, 90 over there? Chuck Grassley is an expert on the weaponization of the Tulsi Gabbard? Really, everybody? Really? And you know who their FBI expert was? Oh, this was really sad. This was really, really sad. Their FBI expert was a retired FBI agent who retired in 1999. I'm not kidding. His name was Thomas Baker. The guy has not been an active FBI agent since 1999. That's like 24 years ago. And he was testifying about how the FBI is political now and how would he know? The man has not been inside the FBI for 25 years. Oh my God, this was one for the record books. This was an amazing, I couldn't, the nerve of these people to sit there and talk to me about, how these are the experts and they're going to talk about the weaponization of the government when they really should be looking at Bill Barr using the office of, the Attorney General of the United States in order to get 3 weeks ahead of the Mueller report, which found at least 13 Russians who were interfering in our elections and indicted them. The same guy, Prigozhin, that's out there now putting mercenaries into Ukraine, was also in that report. Oleg Deripaska was in that report as being Putin's man, and employing Paul Manafort, who was Donald Trump's campaign manager, for God's sake. And Bill Barr gets up on the podium 3 weeks ahead of the dropping of the Mueller report to say there's nothing in here, move along. This drone has means nothing to you. And there were 10 instances of Donald Trump obstructing the inquiry, obstructing the Department of Justice in its effort to figure out how in the world did the Russians hack the Democratic National Committee, take emails from the DNC, give them to WikiLeaks, and then have Roger Stone coordinate the release. Because that's what happened. They have no problem with any of that. No, they have no problem with any of that. So at the end, after the Mueller report and Bill Barr got up to, disrupt its impact, at the end when, it was perfectly obvious that there were, 10 instances of obstruction, that the president had incited violence at the end of his term, that he was extorting Ukraine in the middle of his term, right? At the end, Bill Barr decides that he's going to appoint a special counsel to look into the weaponization of the government, okay? Why did they investigate Donald Trump? Why did they, turns out that he hires this guy, John Durham, and John Durham spends the last 4 years, the Mueller report, for those of you who are curious, it went on for 2 years. This went on for 4 years. He tried to prosecute 3 people. 2 of them were acquitted by a jury. And one guy, Kleinsmith, who was a very low-level FBI agent who was going to the FISA court and asking for the 4th authorization of the same FISA warrant, okay, actually didn't do the form right. And he pled guilty to fudging the form, and he got community service. The other 2 people, one was the guy who was the Russian source, swear to God, the Russian source for what's his name? The one where Donald Trump was in a hotel and I keep wanting to say the Star Report because it was just that lascivious.
Steele?
Yeah, Christopher Steele. So the source for Christopher Steele was a guy, I think his name was Damchenko or something like that. So they tried to prosecute him, and a jury acquitted him too. He got nowhere, Durham. I mean, the whole thing was just, it was a big nothing because it didn't happen, okay? The government was not weaponized. The government actually did its job because there was Russian interference in the 2016 election. They did really hack the DNC. They did really give those documents to WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks really did coordinate the release of those documents with Roger Stone, who was working with Donald Trump during the 2016 campaign. And Donald Trump's campaign manager, Paul Manafort, really was working with and for Oleg Deripaska, to whom he owed millions of dollars. And Oleg Deripaska was Vladimir Putin's right-hand man. And we know this because he won the aluminum war. He won the big metal wars in Russia, and Putin gave him the aluminum, concern in Russia, that he literally was willing to commit murder to get. Rusal, that's the name of his company. Anyway, that's already been looked at by Durham, who weaponized, Bill Barr and Durham weaponized the government of the United States. And now they're going to investigate wait, what?
To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
All right, everybody. Today is a special day. I don't just mean it's the Friday before the Super Bowl, which is special. I mean that it is $5 freaking Friday on Free Speech TV. So what is $5 Friday? $5 Friday is when you can actually make a donation for $5 and then say that you would like to do that every single month. Every month you would contribute $5. That makes you a sustaining member, and 43% of everybody in this audience that gives to Free Speech TV is a sustaining member. This gives us the certitude. This gives us certainty. This lets us know that we can go ahead and pay the people who work in Denver, Colorado, to make sure that Free Speech TV appears on DirecTV channel 348 every day, that it appears on Dish Network 9415, that it appears on Apple TV, that it appears all over the place, wherever you're looking for it, that it actually shows up. That's what the people in Denver, Colorado do. And if you would like to give $5 or more today and make it a recurring donation, then please do call the people in Denver, who would be thrilled to hear from you today. 877-378 8669. 877-378-8669. You can do it online at freespeech.org, of course. Freespeech.org. And then if you want to use your phone, which, you know, a lot of people are on right now, just text to the number 44321, 44321, like a countdown, the letters FSTV, and we will send you in exchange a very secure link where you can pledge $5 or more and make it recurring every single month. Thank you for participating in $5 Friday, the Friday ahead of the Super Bowl. We are very excited to get you in the mood to give again. All right. So yesterday there was this. I mean, this is madness what they're doing over there. Okay, and you know they're such freaking liars that they forget that there are people who are going to push back on what they're saying in real time. Okay, it is a committee. And while they have the majority of the seats on the committee and they created this select subcommittee, it's so outrageous. They forget that they're going to have Democrats in the room who can hear them and are going to want to say, what are you talking about? And be the fact check in real time upon their lies. I mean, it's insane what they came to talk about and versus what they said they were coming to talk about, then what they talked about, and who they are saying is an expert and in what. Like I said, their FBI expert was one FBI expert was a Fox News host, swear to God. And you know, the only people that watched this crap yesterday are QAnon Fox viewers, which is, you know, I mean, it looked like Fox News, except there was no crawl underneath telling us, you know, about, you know, ED. There was no crawl. There was no ads for, you know, electile dysfunction. Yeah, Mike Lindell, electile dysfunction. That's Mike Lindell's thing, right? But no, I mean, it was like one FBI person was a Fox News hostess, and the other FBI person hadn't served in the FBI in like over 20 years. It was mind blowing, really. It was really insane. So I'm just gonna play very, very short clips because I know you didn't watch it. But you got to know what's going on here.
We all know now that it was the Democratic National Committee, along with the Clinton campaign, who colluded with the Russians.
What?
They used a former Russian spy, Fusion GPS, and law firm to create a fake dossier and then tried to cover it up.
Okay, so his theory there, that's Chuck Grassley, who's what? 89 years old. Okay. And he's the senator. Why he toddled over to the House to give his expert testimony about something that's been disproved 80,000 times. But here's his theory. Again, okay, going back to 2015. It's almost 10 years ago at this point. Okay. But his theory is that Hillary Clinton hacked the DNC. She did it. She hacked the DNC in order to lose the election. Okay. In order to make herself lose the election by releasing documents that she hacked from the Democratic National Committee, right? In order to make herself lose. Okay, all right then. Here's Ron Johnson's expert testimony.
My first investigation ultimately revealed the extensive editing of then FBI Director James Comey of his July 5th, 2016 statement that exonerated Secretary Clinton regarding her use of a private email server for official business.
Okay. That's going back to 2016 and James Comey, who lost his job for, because Trump didn't like him, apparently. But his first investigation was into James Comey's statement about Hillary Clinton not having the intention or giving any classified information to anyone who wasn't authorized to see it. And so he had no crime. That was his. Okay. Here's further Ron Johnson's testimony yesterday.
Prior to the impeachment proceedings, Hunter Biden's obvious conflicts of interest in Ukraine became public, and Senator Grassley and I began investigating.
So we went to Russia. Yeah, we hung out there, is what we did. Here's Tulsi Gabbard.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg revealed on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast recently that Facebook limited the exposure of the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop story just weeks ahead of the 2020 election, only after talking with the FBI.
We had a whole hearing about that yesterday, Tulsi. That is not true. That story, by the way, the New York Post story, turned out to be completely false, and it was taken down for less than 24 hours by Twitter, and they said that was a mistake. They shouldn't have taken it down because, you know, even if it's false, they shouldn't have taken it down. And they put it back up less than 24 hours. So the big Hunter Biden deprivation, okay, the deprivation of the New York Post reading public lasted for less than 24 hours. Okay, so I have no idea what they're talking about, okay? I really do not understand. But you know why this is interesting? I want you to see Congressman Stewart. He slept through most of Tulsi Gabbard's opening statement and through the rest of the hearing. Just look at this man.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg
look at him.
Revealed on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast recently that Facebook limited the exposure of the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop story.
I'm going to say he had a very bad night the night before.
You see him tottering back and forth
yeah,
so slightly.
He was definitely hungover. He was definitely hungover. Something was going on with him. He slept through the rest of it. He slept through the whole thing. I mean, I was just watching him, you know, and he never woke up. He just didn't. And everybody's worried about Fetterman's health over in the Senate. He's fine. He's okay. But Mr. Stewart there needs intervention. He needs, somebody to come and just shake him or wake him up or blow air into his lungs or some such. It looks like Weekend at Bernie's kind of, thing. It looks like he was just propped up there to fill the. He was like a seat filler. It's very weird, very, very weird. But that was their best effort at the weaponization of the government. Okay, and then Jim Jordan realized, oh, you should never point the weapon at your own head. Damn it. Okay, I'm going to promise thousands and thousands of whistleblowers are going to come forward. They're all going to come forward in the future, sometime soon. And he was called out on that. This was a beautiful moment. I'll show you.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Okay, this is pure perfection, okay? This is Dan Goldman, who is a newly elected representative from New York, asking Jim Jordan, where are your dozens of whistleblowers? Where are your witnesses? Where are they?
The chair now recognizes.
Mr. Chairman, could I have a point of order? There have been a lot of mention of information and testimony that you all have received from whistleblowers.
Yeah.
When are you planning on providing that to the minority?
You could have been for the very first deposition, transcribed interview of the whistleblower. I was there when he testified on Tuesday.
Okay, that's fine. I assume you'll turn those over. But what about you talk about dozens of whistleblowers?
Yeah,
when are we going to get that information?
When they testify, when we I'll work with the ranking member on that information.
You don't have any transcriptions of their interviews?
We have the first one, and we have the dozens who come and talk to our office.
They talk to your office privately?
They talk to Republican staff, right.
And they're not transcribed, no notes, no nothing?
The first one happened Tuesday.
No, I'm not talking about the first one.
The first one happened Tuesday.
Dozens.
The next one happens tomorrow. The third one happens next Wednesday, and we'll continue to do that.
You just said dozens. Do you have notes from those, or they're just talking to you, your staff?
Mr. Chairman, isn't that how whistleblowers typically work?
Well, it's how they're supposed to work. It's not how they worked in the impeachment that Mr. Goldman was a part of when Mr. Schiff said he didn't have contact with that whistleblower, but in fact he did.
It worked exactly appropriately until Mr. Trump would not allow.
We're doing it the way we're supposed to do it, Mr. Goldman.
No, you're supposed to turn it over to the minority.
Right.
When they come and testify, you'll have access to the transcript like everyone on the committee will.
You mean your staff is not going to turn it over to our staff? We're just in the dark?
No, when the transcript is done, you will get the transcript.
I mean of the dozens of whistleblowers you have already talked to that came to talk to your staff.
Yeah. What do you want me to turn over there?
Did you?
Their names?
Notes? Anyone take notes?
I'll be happy to talk with the ranking member on how we handle that information.
Thank you.
All I'm telling you is we will schedule each for a deposition, and we are doing that. You didn't show up for the first one, but you could have been there. With that,
I didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it. You didn't notify us. You didn't tell us anything about anything. So, you know what this is like? Is like a ballroom at a QAnon convention. I mean, this was madness. And by the way, you're paying for this. You're paying for this. We're all paying for this. We paid for the Durham extravaganza. Millions of dollars we paid John Durham and his team Yeah, to look at the same thing that they're looking at here, the origins of the investigation, the Mueller report. This is what they're all looking at. I mean, this is insane. We had a special counsel for 4 years, millions of dollars spent, who's supposed to be keeping his distance from the attorney general. That's why you have a special counsel. You have a special counsel, so there's at least an appearance that the attorney general, the Department of Justice, is not communicating with an independent counsel who is over there looking at perhaps your boss. Okay? But that did not happen in the Durham investigation. Durham and Barr were traveling around the world together. Durham and Barr were going to, Italy. Italy, really looking for Italian satellites, I swear to God, that they thought were flipping votes. Or somebody said, and you know what they found in Italy? In Italy, the intelligence community, the Italian intelligence community, told the Attorney General of the United States and his special counsel, who he's not supposed to hang out with, but told them, we have evidence of some international financial fraud committed by the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And instead of Durham saying, I'm not authorized to look into financial crimes, because remember, Mueller wasn't allowed to look at Donald Trump's financial crimes. Remember that? Everybody was wondering, why is it that Mueller can't look at the money? What is going on there? Well, Durham wasn't supposed to either. But Bill Barr literally deputized, I swear to God. You think this only happens in crazy, far-flung westerns, spaghetti westerns and things like that? No. An Italian intelligence agent told the United States of America's Attorney General that they had evidence of international financial crimes committed by the current president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And the Attorney General of the United States then deputizes his buddy, John Durham, to look into it. And it disappeared off the face of the earth. So we never, ever, ever got any sort of, criminal, accounting of Donald Trump's supposed Italian international financial fraud crimes. So I would say that if you wanted to look into the weaponization of the government, if you wanted to look into wrongdoing, let's put it that way, by the United States government and how it could be turned to protect certain American citizens and not others, which is what, what's his face? Jim Jordan said that this was about. He said that that this committee was going to look into the disparate treatment that some Americans get from the Department of Justice and some treatment that others get from the Department of Justice, and that it's not equal. See, what he was implying was that the Department of Justice was tougher on Donald Trump than it was on any other citizen, which is so bogus. But what he's really ignoring is the fact that the Department of Justice under Donald Trump protected Donald Trump, used their position to protect Donald Trump, and to cover up Donald Trump's crimes.
Consider the John Durham investigation. At the urging of Republicans, including the good chairman, the John Durham Special Counsel investigation was set up in 2019 by Barr to try to find wrongdoing by intelligence or law enforcement agencies in the origins of the Mueller investigation. And we've heard some of the murmurings about this today. After 4 years and millions of dollars spent, the Durham investigation closed as a total flop, without unearthing anything like the deep state conspiracy that Republicans have been denouncing around here for years. It couldn't find anything of substance to it. Yet Barr and Durham kept pressing in clearly abusive ways. I hope your subcommittee will investigate.
Yeah, right. Fat chance. Never. Not in this here country. Not with this Republican Party. Not with this, barroom. This is the cantina. This is the Star Wars cantina and I understand that, a lot of us, didn't want to have to watch it. Most of us didn't. I had to. Okay. But I mean, the Fox audience is watching it. They really are. They're watching this swill. They're watching this crap. And, I hope alarms go off in their head where they realize that Durham's investigation produced absolutely nothing. And the people that Durham put on trial, the people who were acquitted by a jury, okay? One of them was Danchenko, that's his name, Mr. Danchenko, who was the source for Christopher Steele's dossier. That was the source. And the jury acquitted him, saying he didn't work for, Russian intelligence. That wasn't a made-up story. He didn't do anything wrong. Acquitted at trial. The other guy was, a lawyer named Sussman, also acquitted at trial. They had nothing except for crimes that Donald Trump committed in Italy. That the Italian intelligence, showed to Durham and showed to Bill Barr. And they were like, oh, no. We're not going down that road. We're here to say that Hillary Clinton hacked herself in order to make herself lose. Really? That's your working theory? Yes, and we're sticking to it. I mean, this was so stupid. It was so sick. It was so scary. And so, I got to say, the poor Democrats who have to sit through this swill. This was another 3-4 hour hearing yesterday. That they have to sit through this garbage, this garbagey presentation by guys who haven't worked in the FBI for 20 years. A girl who works on Fox News. And, two senators who are obviously, conspiracy theorists, right? I mean, Ron Johnson, ivermectin was his thing, right? And also, loves Putin. And then, Tulsi Gabbard, who's now auditioning to be a Fox anchor, right? She's a fill-in at this point. But, she decided to say that Ukraine had bioweapons labs or some such crap. I mean, this is such weirdness. This is such a sick compilation of, QAnon believers, of conspiracy theorists. And we're taking testimony from them. So the Democrats are sitting there trying to fact check them in real time. And oh my God, just asking them the simplest of questions like, where are your witnesses? Where are the real witnesses? Why am I listening to Chuck Grassley? Why am I listening to Tulsi Gabbard? These are your experts? Really? These are your experts. A guy who hasn't worked inside Okay, so when can we expect your witnesses? Well, you missed one. We had one, like last Tuesday. Yeah, okay, good. So you're going to transcribe that witness's testimony. You're going to give it to us, right? No, you could have been there. You didn't tell me you were conducting an interview. And where are the dozens of others that you've been referring to all day? We have dozens of FBI agents. We have dozens of whistleblowers. We have dozens of, and the only ones they produced are a Fox News host who previously worked at the FBI and a guy who hasn't worked in the FBI for 20 years. Those are your and they actually refer to those two as whistleblowers. They really did. And that's why I Googled him. I was like, he looks a little, I don't know, old. Let me see. 99, he retired.
Mary had a little lamb.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America. From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me. Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Hunter Biden's laptop. Hunter Biden's business arrangements.
Hunter Biden laptop story.
The Hunter Biden laptop, the Hunter Biden laptop, Hunter Biden laptop.
Secretary Clinton regarding her use of a private email server for official business.
They will never do the people's business. So just, surrender to it. I understand that we have like this massive, debt ceiling, debacle that is headed our way just in a few months. They're not interested. Okay. They're not interested in solving any problems. They're not interested in going through the budget. They are only interested in relitigating something that has been litigated and relitigated and then independently litigated. And then you had an independent counsel. Then you had an attorney general. Then you had witnesses. I mean, honestly, and then you had two jury trials that both ended up in acquittals. There was nothing criminal, evil, untoward, unethical that happened in the Mueller report. Okay, conducting the Mueller report, crafting the Mueller report, reporting the Mueller report, researching the Mueller report, investigating the Mueller report. Going through 10 different instances that Donald Trump obstructed justice. Okay, that all happened. There was nothing untoward or criminal or weaponized about the investigation into Russia hacking into the DNC. taking those emails, giving them to WikiLeaks, and then having the coordination of those documents into the public mainstream, a bloodstream by Roger Stone, while a Trump campaign manager named Paul Manafort worked for Oleg Deripaska, Putin's right-hand guy. That all happened. But I want to show you, just a really sad. It's sad for me because we used to be friends. You know this lawyer Jonathan Turley. I think some of you do. The best thing I could say about Jonathan Turley is he's available. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're a talk show host and you do guests, you can book Jonathan Turley. He will talk to anybody. He will talk to like dead satellites. He would actually do. But so we used to talk to him because he was anti-war. He's sort of a libertarian type of guy. And so back when we knew that George W. Bush had lied us into a war of aggression, and a kinetic war, as they call it, a real war, bombing the crap out of people based on lies. Jonathan Turley was an ally over that particular heinous, ugly fact, right? But I don't know. Nobody pays any attention to him anymore. He needs attention, so he decided he would go to the right-wing media people, the bookers there, and he would start, offering his, opinions to Fox News. Is he a bad guy? I don't know. I just know I used to talk to him, and he was always willing to take the call. That's all I can say. But it is sad to see him do this because he was asked very specific questions yesterday about the inner workings of Twitter, okay? Because they're not done saying Twitter did this. Anybody did this but Donald Trump. Everybody, colluded except for Donald Trump and Russia, okay? So anyway, Elise Stefanik, who I don't know what's happened to her either. She's gone bat crap, was asking Turley about the inner workings of Twitter, and he was saying, yes, that's what happens. Yeah, that's right.
Isn't it true that leading up to the 2020 election, Twitter had weekly meetings with not just the FBI, with DOJ, with DHS, with DNI, to conduct this unconstitutional censorship by surrogate? We know that because of the Twitter files, correct?
Correct. That's Jonathan Turley swearing by her, saying, yes, that's true. That happened, right?
The Twitter files are just the tip of the iceberg because there's so much more. There was a corrupt revolving door at the highest levels between the FBI and Twitter. Look no further than Jim Baker, former general counsel at the FBI, who helped unlawfully investigate Donald Trump in the 2016 election. Or look at Jim Comey's deputy chief of staff, who became the director of strategy at Twitter. Isn't it true, according to the Twitter files, that there were so many FBI officials who then went to work at Twitter that created their own Slack channel and crib sheet for onboarding? The Twitter files confirm that, correct?
Correct.
Are you aware, as the American people are aware, that according to polling, of the people that were made aware of the Hunter Biden laptop story, 53% would have changed their vote, including 61% of Democrats. This is the definition of election meddling, and it's the definition of election meddling by the FBI on behalf of Democrats, paid for by the U.S. taxpayers. It's collusion, it's corruption, and it's unconstitutional.
What? She just pulled a lot of threads there that aren't related to each other. And he sat there and said, that's correct. That's right. That's what went on in Twitter. That's, they had these weekly meetings. And yes, some guy who was Jim Comey's deputy ended up over at Twitter working in marketing strategy. It's not content. It wasn't content management. It was a strict, I don't know. They have like 10,000, 15,000 employees over there. I have no earthly idea what she's talking about. But Jonathan Turley, poor Jonathan Turley, he sat there and he agreed with her. Yes, that's how it goes in Twitter. That's what happens in Twitter. There are meetings in Twitter and the DNI. What? So Debbie Wasserman Schultz did the background on Jonathan Turley. Like, what do you know about Twitter?
Mr. Turley, turning to you, have you ever worked for Twitter?
No.
Do you have any formal relationship with the company?
No, I just have an account.
Do you have any specific or special or unique knowledge about the inner workings of Twitter?
Nothing beyond the Twitter files and what I read in the media.
So essentially, your responses to the questions here today were your own opinion and pure conjecture.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I try to base them on what we know from the Twitter files.
Well, but you said that you don't have any specific or unique knowledge of Twitter, but you spoke as if you did. You were asked very specific questions about Twitter's, the way Twitter functions and the decision-making that they make, but yet you don't have any unique or special knowledge about Twitter and have never worked for them. And so this is only just your opinion, would you say, as a Twitter account user?
No, I've come to give legal analysis based on facts that are in the public domain, and I was really referring to what I was asked about the Twitter files.
Reclaiming my time, legal analysis is another word for opinion.
I would think there is some distinction, but yeah, it ultimately is an opinion. But I believe the question to me was based on what the Twitter files show, and that was my reading of the Twitter files.
Right. And again, that's another way of describing your opinion being offered, which was represented as unique and special fact, which you don't possess.
Wow.
Well, I mean, listen, this is the problem. Jim Jordan said that you were going to hear from experts that you were going to hear from insiders, that you were going to hear from whistleblowers at Twitter and whistleblowers at the FBI and whistleblowers in the government. And he actually ended up calling two senators whose reputations are trash, okay, when it comes to Russia especially, and a Fox News hostess, Jonathan Turley, who's representing that he has some expertise on meetings that happen at Twitter, but he doesn't. And when asked, where are your whistleblowers? Where are your experts? When will we hear from them? When will we see the transcripts? When will you share the information you have so that we can question your witnesses? And he says, oh, we deposed one last week. Well, we didn't get the transcript. Well, you could have been there. No, that's not how Congress works. That's not how courts work. That's not how anything legal works. You have to, that's what discovery is. We all know this, right? One side shares with the other what their witnesses will testify to so that you can question them intelligently. This is such a grotesque circus.
Randy at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
Okay, this is really good. This is Jared Moskowitz. He's a Democrat from Florida. Yes, we still have them. The odd duck, the Democrat from Florida. And he's like, I'm starting to feel a little bad for you guys.
I'm beginning to feel like a little bad for the majority. Like I just feel guilty because you guys have come today to try to prove that the Biden administration in coordination with Twitter is impugning free speech. And the problem is that Donald Trump, he is just this thing that hangs around your neck. Because at every turn, he undermines whatever credibility you want to have on this subject. I mean, Donald Trump and his administration, it's been proven, reached out to Twitter to take down tweets that got under his skin. The tough guy, Donald Trump, right? He got called the B word. Let's reach out to Twitter. Let's get the tweet taken down.
Teigen.
You guys have no credibility. You have none. Your own guy taking free speech off of Twitter. I also don't understand this bipolar thing that you're doing with Joe Biden. So every day you guys tweet out, Joe Biden is boring, he's sleepy. Every day you say it on TV. Now you want to tell the American people Joe Biden is an international super mastermind along with his son Hunter. I mean, it's just bananas. The Trump family is getting billions of dollars of loans from foreign governments by using their White House relationships. Any questions? Any questions on that? No, I didn't think so. You want to know if the Trump family made any money selling PPE during the pandemic out of the West Wing? Any questions about that? No, I didn't think so.
No questions about that. You want to know whether or not John Durham weaponized the independent counsel's office with the help of the Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr, and literally went after two innocent people, put them on trial only to get an acquittal just so he could say he was doing something and bilk the American people out of millions of dollars for a trip down, another trip down a rabbit hole? You want to look at, the intimidation that is wielded by the U.S. government over people who are, just speaking freely about their opinion of Donald Trump? What about Chrissy Teigen? Why did the president of the United States use his awesome power to call Twitter, which is what they're alleging Democrats did, to call Twitter and get Chrissy Teigen's tweet taken down because it got under his skin, because it was insulting to him, because he didn't like her opinion of him? Chrissy Teigen, a supermodel, married to John Legend. That was what he decided to use the awesome power of the presidency to remove from Twitter. Chrissy Teigen. Oh, my God. Honestly, there's about a zillion things they could, they don't want to look into what was found in Italy. They went over to Italy, the two of them colluding together, the Attorney General of the United States and an independent counsel, hence the word independent. It actually says you should not be hanging out with each other. It's unbelievable. They don't want to investigate any of that. They don't want to look at that. They don't want to look at what the Italian authorities reported to them about Trump's criminality in international finance. No, we don't want to look at that. What about Jared walking away with $2 billion from the Saudis? No, we don't want to look at that. What about Ivanka getting Chinese, patents while she was a senior advisor to the president of the United States of America, who was praising President Xi, who just, we find out has been flying spy balloons over our country 5 times already. And Donald Trump doesn't even, either they didn't tell him or he didn't tell you. I don't know which it is. But she got her patents. She did. I mean, honestly, what the F is going on there? Why is this, what is it? Why are they revisiting the Russian collusion hoax? Why are they talking about the dossier? Why are they talking about Fusion GPS? Why are they talking about Peter Strzok and Lisa Page? Why are they doing this? I mean, honestly, I don't even understand it. I for the life of me, this makes no sense, especially knowing that the people of this country are telling them repeatedly from their own party, do the hard work that we need done on immigration reform. Do the hard work that we want done on, making the justice system more equal. We understand that you could be Donald Trump and get away with everything, including murder, on Fifth Avenue. We get, stop it, fix it, do something about the debt ceiling, do something about, shoring up Social Security, do something about shoring up. I mean, the Democrats are kicking your butt all over the place. They just saved the Medicare fund, $280 billion, by lowering the cost of prescription drugs through a negotiation with Big Pharma. Why couldn't you do that? How come you're letting them do this? Do some work. Now, they're not interested in doing any work. No. Work is not their thing. Work is not in their wheelhouse. Their thing is vilifying. Their thing is, oh, wait, they're not done. I mean, so these are the... these are the first 2 hearings, okay? The one on Twitter yesterday, and then the weaponization. I honestly do not understand. They are, listen, their record so far looks really, really puny, people. I mean, I agree with Moskowitz. I'm starting to feel bad for them. Not really. Neither was he. He's being sarcastic because they love Elon Musk. They love, Nazis. They love Kanye, right?
Let's talk about Twitter.
Yeah.
Let's talk about God bless Elon Musk.
Huh.
See these? God bless the guy who is allowing Nazis and anti-Semitism to perpetrate Twitter. There's been a 66% increase of anti-Semitism on Twitter since Elon Musk set it free. Mr. Chairman, I agree with you. It's not fair to say all conservatives are Nazis. That's preposterous. That's not true. But your Lord and Savior Donald Trump is having tea and dinner with them at Mar-a-Lago. Nick Fuentes right here It was a picture that is tweeted at me all the time saying Jews are a virus in response to my tweets. Donald Trump's having dinner with him. Nazis at Mar-a-Lago. And so, no, not all Republicans are Nazis, but I got to tell you, Nazis seem really comfortable with Donald Trump. So I have questions about that, Mr. Chairman. Why is that? Why do I get these tweets? Let's talk about Kanye West, right? The chairman of the Judiciary Committee for 3 months praising Kanye West. We love Kanye, right? A Nazi. Clearly now. It took months for that tweet to come down. How come? I mean, these are things I'd love to know. Is it because maybe they're your voters? I mean, they certainly aren't voting for me.
Yeah. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was introduced by Nick Fuentes after Nick Fuentes was praising Hitler, like in the same breath. And they said, and now everybody, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She had no problem with it. Kanye, the reason why he's referring to Kanye, just to refresh your recollection, Kanye actually said when, I guess, what's his face, was InfoWars. Alex Jones said to him, hey, listen, Hitler was not a good guy. Kanye said, I don't know. Hitler did do some good things with a ski mask over his face or a black stocking over his face, sitting on the right-wing lunatic show praising Adolf Hitler. I mean...
Call in, connect. To speak to Randy, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
All righty, everybody. Yes, Sunday is the Super Bowl. We're all excited. And today is $5 freaking Friday is what it is. $5 Friday. That is your chance to join the Free Speech TV family, the sustaining donor community, or to raise your $5 monthly contribution by $5. Wouldn't that be good? So like if you were giving $5, now you give $10 a month. If you were giving $10, now you give $15 a month. Just saying, it's a suggestion, something I thought of. Okay. But if you'd like to start a new monthly $5 donation or more today, please do call us at 877-378-8669. There it is on your screen, 877-378-8669, and one of our happy peppy people in Denver, Colorado will be happy to take your call and your pledge of $5 each month. That's what $5 Friday is about, a sustaining donor community, right? You could do it online if you like, freespeech.org, or you can text to 44321, 44321, the letters FSTV, and we'll send you a secure link, and you can pledge $5 or increase your monthly donation by $5, or give more than $5 and become a Free Speech TV sustaining donor. Thank you very, very much. Brother David.
It's frenetic, frazzled, $5 Friday, sister.
You bastard.
Okay, I'm going to try to be real calm and clear and collected because my week started on such a high when President Pop basically tricked the entire body to stand and applaud his declaration that Medicare and Social Security would never go under his watch. If you heard a over the ether, it was me. The second takeaway was if you wanted a clear demonstration of the actual difference between the two parties, you needed to look no further than behind him on the dais. Yeah. Because to camera left was this intense, resolute, listening woman. And to the right was basically a kid in algebra class, bored and looking at the ceiling and staring at the ceiling. And, oh, look, there's the fly that landed on Mike Pence's head. The third takeaway.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he just drifting in and out. The third takeaway were a couple of the fashion choices. Perjury Trader Grown just needed a fur hat, and she would have looked like she was trying to be Lady Gaga in the House of Gucci. And I do not know what Kristen Sinema was thinking with that strange prom dress pointy shoulder. It was just, again, shockingly wrong.
I have to tell you that the best response I got to her dress was through an email, and a guy emailed me who wore it best, and sent me a photo of Kirsten Sinema's yellow dress, and a life vest.
That's delicious.
It was so good. I laughed out loud sitting at my computer at home. I just wrote, I mean, what could you say to that? So I just wrote,
I'll have to Google that and get it on my page.
I don't know if it's a real meme or if this guy just created it and sent it to me by email, but it was hysterical.
That's Brill.
It was good.
But that brings us back to now the frazzled part because of what's going on. I watched the first episode of Killing County, the Colin Kaepernick on Hulu, and I'm not gonna be able to binge it because it's really powerful and good, but it's also really upsetting.
Uh-huh.
But then last night, because I'm starting to catch up with my docs before the gay Super Bowl next month, and when I was seeing my hitherto documentary of the year, the found footage documentary about Diana the Princess on HBO, there was Navalny, the documentary about Alexei Navalny.
Oh, it's hysterical. I mean, his personality is so winning. I mean, just so he's so awesome. He's just such an awesome dude. I mean, you know, I've seen this documentary probably 3 times. Okay, and there's this one scene where he's sitting in a bar. They're interviewing him, and they talk to him about Novichok, and he just looks at the camera and he goes, "Poison, really, poison."
Exactly. Yeah, no, I hope it wins the bald gold man with a sword because it's awfully good.
It's good.
And hi, chat room, you know what to do. $5 Friday.
Yeah.
And there you have it. There are still more of us, Randy.
I know.
And
I know. See, listen, here's the thing. I just want to tell everybody the reason why they're doing this dog and pony show, the reason why they're having this ridiculous, Congress of theirs, the reason why they're going down these rabbit holes and making the House of Representatives look like a Star Wars cantina of QAnon, worshipers, is because they only need to win primaries. The way the system is set up, all they need to do is win their primary. Nobody will run against them, in a red state as a Democrat and win. So all they need to do is become the Republican nominee in Georgia's 2nd district, and she's good. That's why they're wasting our time like this, okay? They're literally running for office 2 years from now.
Exactly.
It's so sad. It's just such a waste of our time and money and our faith and our hopes and our dreams that they're sitting there doing this.
Word. The people are seeing, I think, because a party divided against itself, as it clearly is and continuing to, cannot stand.
Yes. That's right. They are literally imploding on themselves, but we have to actually wait it out. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the sad truth. And it sucks really hard because we do have a group of people who are willing to take the full faith and credit of the United States hostage. And that would be a resounding disaster for every living thing
for the planet. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so,
we have to pay attention. We have to endure.
Yeah.
Somehow we shall.
Yeah.
And as ever, gorgeous girdles for everyone.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Mwah. Love you always.
Enjoy the Super Bowl. The gay Super Bowl's next month. Robin Mesa.
Hi, Randy. Hey, just 2 comments on the Hunter laptop thing. It's called chain of custody.
Yeah.
It seems like that laptop first was stolen and it's now been in their possession for how many years? So, I mean, they could have done anything to that hard drive at this point. So the evidence or anything they have on that is useless, and that's probably why they'll just keep hiding it. They just won't let anyone see it because they don't trust anyone.
It's so ridiculous. This whole thing is so ridiculous when you have Jared Kushner literally getting $2 billion.
Yep. I use that all the time.
And they have to sit there and pretend they don't know that, and that somehow, Burisma in Ukraine, which, is probably bombed down to the ground now, doesn't even exist anymore, and was investigated by the British authorities for corruption years ago, is something Americans have to pay attention to. What? I mean, it's so, they just want to say Hunter Biden's laptop, Hunter Biden. You know why? There are horrible photographs that either were on that laptop but now are in public domain. Horrible photographs of a guy who, like so many of us, had a terrible drug addiction. You know what the beauty of it is? He's cleaned up now. He's okay. Celebrate that.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
I'm going to ask one last time before we go for the weekend to please do give $5 as a sustaining $5 a month donation to Free Speech TV today. I really appreciate it. It's 877-378-8669 is the phone number. The web address is freespeech.org, and the text information is 44321, and text the letters FSTV to 44321, and we'll send you a link. And thank you so much. Your $5 will go so far. You have no earthly idea how important and how special it is for you to do this. So thanks again. And, if I forget to tell you, I had a great weekend. I can't wait. Steve in Delaware.
Hi, Randy. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, we're sustaining donors.
Great. Thank you.
$25 a month.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Really happy to do it because we love all the people on Free Speech.
Oh, thank you. We love you too. Thank you.
Yeah, we're here in Delaware now for about 2.5 years. We moved from Texas, and we were trying to turn things around in Texas and be involved in the Democratic elections and stuff, and try to get Beto elected and try to get Dana Steele elected, but unsuccessful. But happy to be in a better place.
So far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, change takes a long, long time. There's no question. But efforts do not go unnoticed.
Yeah. We watch the show every day, and we love the little figures, bobbleheads or whatever they are, and we're just curious to know what the guy in the brown suit, who he is.
This one?
Yeah.
So that's Zelensky.
Oh, that's Zelensky. Okay.
Yeah. That's Voldemar Zelensky. That's obviously Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's not a bobblehead, but she's a figure.
Yeah, we got one of those.
Yeah, and then this is a very large. This one here is Kamala. This is AOC. This was a Christmas present from Brett this year. I got my new AOC. That, of course, Barack Obama. And believe it or not, a beautiful, beautiful listener out there. She just sent me. Her name's Shannon. Shannon just sent me, and she's probably looking at my desk going, where is it? I wrote to her that I did get it. Brett, you will love this. She sent me a figurine, okay, and I opened it, and then I just looked. I said, well, he's very handsome, but who is he? And then on the bottom I saw it's Sheldon Whitehouse. She sent me a Sheldon Whitehouse.
She has got good taste in politicians. That's amazing. He's our favorite at the show.
And I keep forgetting to bring him in, but I have him. I just wanted to tell her, give a shout out to Shannon.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Got a great name too.
Yeah, Sheldon Whitehouse. I love it. But
thanks for all that you do, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy it. And I'm not going to tell you who we're rooting for, but listen, it's causing countertops in my family. Yeah, because
between who?
Jessica hates the Eagles.
Why?
It's a rivalry with the Giants.
Oh, that's right. She's a Giants fan.
Right.
That is understandable then for Jessica.
Right. So I had to have the talk, as you do with your children, about how, listen, I shouldn't have been rooting for the Bills because of the Dolphins and that rivalry, but I was because of DeMar, and it was like, the greatest comeback, and wouldn't it have been the best, Cinderella story ever if the Bills would have prevailed over the Bengals? I mean, wouldn't that have been just beautiful? That would have been, like the Little Mermaid kind of a Disney ending, right? Well, it didn't happen. It did not. And so now we're,
This one's interesting because, anybody who's not affiliated with either of these teams, a lot of years there's an underdog.
Which is me. I'm not affiliated with either of these teams, right?
And usually there's an underdog going into the game, so we're like, hey, well, if I don't care either way, I want the underdog to win.
Right.
But both these teams are legit. So I feel like a lot of people are leaning towards Kansas City who wouldn't normally care because of the Mahomes injury. They feel like
didn't Mahomes just get MVP for the second time?
In 6 years.
Wow.
And very few people have done it twice that quickly in their career. I think two others. I think Kurt Warner and maybe one other. He is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, so, a lot of people are, going down the Kansas City thing, which is fine. It's fine. Listen, I just want you to know I actually do not care who wins. However, Brett has asked me, who would I be? And I said the Eagles only because we have somebody close to us who's from Philly. And wouldn't it be nice if she saw her home team prevail, since we have no connection to Kansas City at all. And yes, I love Mahomes. And yes, I think he's awesome. And yes, he deserved, MVP. Yes, twice in 6 years. Yes, of course. But, it was just so, and I'm telling you, the amount of pushback I got from my own family was like, oh my God. And she's like, I hate them. I can't root for them, or, I hate them. I was like, well, that's a conversation starter, isn't it?
I can respect that in a fan. A fan who hates all other teams and their own, I can respect that.
Okay, so speaking of hate, I got to tell you this story. This is unbelievable. This will be our last, probably our last story that we tell you today. So Donald Trump, of course, has to weigh in. Not on the Super Bowl. Oh, no. On halftime. Yeah. And he literally trashed Rihanna in one of his truth, which nobody sees, okay? See, like I said, the hearings now that are happening in the House, only the Fox News viewers are watching any of these hearings. And, their attention span is as long as, the oxy lasts, and then they got to go take the next one, right? And I don't mean that they're drug. I mean, they're old. Really. So nobody is watching these hearings. I get it, but you need to know what's going on, which is why we clipped it for you. Okay. Nobody is reading Truth Social either, except for the sycophants, except for the choir. You talk about preaching to the choir. Okay, so apparently on Twitter, what's his name? Ronnie Jackson, the guy, the doctor, Ronnie Jackson, who proclaimed that Donald Trump was the most beautiful specimen of flesh he had ever laid eyes on as a physician, and that this man, even given the fact that he's 90 pounds overweight and he's a pasty old white man with spray tan, and God only knows what's going on in that head of his, and, whether there's, lice involved. Ronnie Jackson tweeted something really nasty about Rihanna because Rihanna participated in some art project in Amarillo, Texas, where people spray paint crap. And she actually spray painted F Trump. Okay. And, Rihanna, just so you know, is the halftime entertainment this year. And she's awesome. Just so, for those of you who are old and pasty and have decided to check out and never listen to music ever again, why, I have no earthly idea. It's very good for you. She's the #2 best-selling female artist on the globe. I think Beyonce's #1. She's #2. Okay. This girl is immensely talented. She's freaking gorgeous. Okay. And she's got a very unique voice and really super talented. So Ronnie Jackson tweets some nasty crap about Rihanna because he can. And Donald Trump piles on it, and says, if it weren't for her stylist, seriously, if it weren't for Rihanna's stylist, she would have no career, no talent, bad. Now, proceed to eating your nachos, and proceed to eating your artichoke spinach dip, and proceed to eating your pulled pork sandwiches, hopefully with coleslaw on a really nice bun. But stick around for the halftime. Watch this girl, and then you tell me if she's a talentless woman who would have no career if it wasn't for her stylist, or if she's your new favorite thing. Just saying. She's also a Disney goddess, okay? She just did the song for the last Disney movie, which, by the way, is ridiculously good. I wish I could play it, but we can't play music on this here show, which really sucks because I have extraordinary taste. But anyway, that's what Trump decided to weigh in on for the Super Bowl festivities.
I mean, it's consistent with his theme of being absolutely wrong about everything he says.
And ugly. And really ugly. And trying to steal people's joy. And trying to take away fun things. Like the NFL. Why? And this goes back to Killing County. Okay, this goes back to Colin Kaepernick. Which is why Rihanna has never done the Super Bowl show before. Okay? She wouldn't do the Super Bowl show because she wouldn't sell out the message that Colin Kaepernick was bringing to the NFL. And they had asked her to do it. I can't even tell you how many times. And she always said, no, why would I do that? Why would I enable the NFL when we're trying to send a message? How does this benefit my people? How does this benefit humanity? How does this benefit any decent people? No. But now she thought things were sort of okay. Biden's president. There's no more Trump. And this is what he does.